The recording is now up, which means this is your host, Kazar Spell, and welcome to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I never played the original version of this game, and I hope that's perfectly acceptable. I'm unsure if this game is like some secret sequel, or if it is just a remade first game with a whole bunch of new things, or maybe it's just with very few new things, and people are going to be really mad about that. But I don't know when it comes to a game like this. I mean, you'd think it would just be an enhanced version, but at the same time, when I have heard that this game is very, I don't know, meta, so the end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
That's why it was released today.
427.
427.
Simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, now I have control to do what I want.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think?
I don't know.
Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
I want to go
Why
back.
don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
I'm sorry.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly.
Hey!
What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
Hey!
Which is why he is in this parable. and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable.
Hey!
You too will become quite unbearable.
Oh, tell me the song doesn't repeat. Can I even, like... Yeah, I can see where I came from. Dang, I saw that I was jiggling on the, chair. I didn't know that there was a whole area out here. Fine, fine.
All of his co-workers.
So apparently that was my first ending.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had suddenly missed a memo.
It's like even like trying to mess with that.
No matter how hard Stanley looked,
they really
he
did think
find
of so
trace
much.
Of his co-workers.
Oh. Input. That did a thing. Oh, are there more? I'm currently just exploring, like, this game is kind of fascinating.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply
This room is really
drinking it
nice,
all in.
actually. I would love to hang out here.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Yay!
So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Ah.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Well, make up your mind. Do you know or not?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Are you kidding me, Mr. Sky Voice?
Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Can I just get in the car?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler.
Oh,
Look, Stanley,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. We just have to get back to, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
Wait, what?
This time, suppose we don't wander so far off track,
No.
Okay, from the top.
No, wait. God.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, fine. Where do we go now?
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Oh, there's a lot more doors.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or...
Maybe?
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Oh gosh, they're all different. They all look different. Can I get in this one? Oh, I'm so good at trying to mess with the physics. Don't think I'm gonna be able to get to the up there. Let's try this one.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there
some
definitely
maze.
was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No!
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No, wait!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait. There are no doors. I'm just going back to my office. Oh, my office is closed.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
I just did that.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something.
What?
The story. Here it
What?
comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay, now where are we?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story?
I don't
I
know.
don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Yes.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
I did it, everyone!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Aww.
Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay.
All right.
I heard about this one.
Time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
I heard about this. Oh.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
You're done? Okay. What if I go back? Okay, fine. We'll follow your little game. Ooh, I love solitaire.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction.
Uh-huh.
Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
I mean, yeah?
Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Okay. Line's getting all weird. Question mark made a question first. Oh, Payday 2 mask. Neat. How long does the music last? Oh, I'm starting to get confused.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Why?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. You sure?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, Deadline. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
It brought us back to the spoiler room.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Okay,
Oh, no, not you
Oh,
again.
the line's back.
Stanley,
Oh,
I'd also like
gosh.
to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new
Like
story.
a horror monster
No lines
crashing
or
its way
monitor
through
rooms.
here.
Just don't acknowledge it. We should be fine.
Trademark. Where'd it go? I'm scared. I'm scared now. It could be anywhere.
A choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Oh, sorry. What was that? I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending.
Wait, what?
You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending?
I have to make up
And
a
we're supposed to
story.
restart the game, what, eight times?
There's no
Really how it
longer.
always
It's
goes?
just black. Wander into darkness. Find a bookstore. Get bored to
determined?
leave. Narrator restarts. Narrator
So
is
now,
gone
according
after
to
a
the
long time.
schedule,
Stanley
I restart
dies.
again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Oh no.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
We made our
whatever it
own
is that
We made our own ending.
How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do...
I didn't do that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
All right.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh my god. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Everyone is unique, you most of all. Number of slides. Many charts, many slides, but many charts and slides as well. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please no more charts, I'm begging, stop. The Boss Appreciation Minute. On your Boss Appreciation Minute, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss, fill out in triplicate, and return to your boss's appreciation specialist. Solving interpersonal. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but more inclined toward conflict, why did we hire you? What are your dreams for the future? Hope. Why would pollution be your dream? Okay, it's... What is hot? Target demographic, teenagers. Stripes go here. Requires more secondary research. Yeah. Things, but with money to buy more things? Graphs about things and money. We have our new product. Let's see. We need more/less reviews. 402 plus 405. Want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put into teenage demographic. Big net. Some sort of child trap. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Let's see. Boss's introspection. We're broke Wednesdays? This box is too small. Yeah, that's true. Office party on Friday. What to do about 432? Don't tell 432 about the meeting. Standardized graphs, 40x wide, not efficient, not cost efficient. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Why is Chris in the broom closet? Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of blah blah blah. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agendas. Items, write next day's agenda, reflect. The future was yesterday, tomorrow is you. That's weird. Oh wait, there's also this one. Shift Global Market Parade. Monetize, free to play, please don't. Help, I'm a post-it. Yes, you are. Oh, that was delightful. Hey, you in there?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, I think I'm gonna be here for a while. Look at all
There
this
was
stuff.
nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
But there's like pliers up there. I use pliers every single day, like a lot.
It was
What was
baffling
that? Is that
Stanley
like
was
a?
still just sitting in the broom
No,
closet.
I guess it's just part
He
of
wasn't
the.
even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Fuck off. But there's a broom. Brooms are nice. Like, chat, wouldn't you say that brooms are like an essential part? I mean, this isn't called the duct tape closet. This is the broom closet.
I'm genuinely confused.
Look, there's not even a mop here. Whoever designed this place is absolutely
You do
terrible.
realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
I don't know.
I never would have thought to mention it.
But still, like, who knows what could be in that little box up there?
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite."
Is there a broom closet
I hope
ending?
your friends find this concerning.
Hey, Chad, do you find this concerning? That I'm in the broom closet for this
Stanley
long?
was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Oh, fuck you.
Probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Wow.
That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Okay, you can't prove that in a court of law.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You
Possible.
got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead.
I'm not at a
Prey
computer.
to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please
You're a
remove
snitch.
their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Well, no. If I step out in the hallway now, Chad's going to make a "you came out of the closet" joke at me, and I'm just saying I'm not prepared for that kind of statement. And I feel like just saying stuff like that, it's gonna really upset. Yeah. Okay. I guess I really don't have any more choice. I get like he stopped saying things, so it means that we gotta step out of the closet.
Ah, second player. It's good. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire
didn't know
species
that.
of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I get the feeling money's for stealing, But not yours, of course. So that's a lovely purse. Huh. That was a nice bathroom.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh, I should have paid attention to what
Stanley
he was
just sat
saying.
around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I don't know if I want to go down, though. Oh, this place is dark.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Oh, this is enjoyable. I love these AIs that you can mess with.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
I guess we can get back into the elevator.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
But guys, who knows? It could be the boss's office.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
What? What the fuck?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Damn it.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley. Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive. You know what?
Yeah, I can move in here now.
I just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley.
What?
You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting.
It's true. It could
Why
be the
don't we
boss's
take this
office.
elevator ride nice and slow.
Nice.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know,
Who knows
Stanley,
what's at the
it seems
top?
like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley.
It
What
really
you and I are
is.
doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you.
You
so
did?
That you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know
They
if
love
you
me,
realize
Chad.
the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good to hear.
It's actually different.
Okay, the room where we're holding the
Oh, I should have hit the
conference
button.
should be just around the corner here somewhere.
The guy who went to Mars. Oh, I should have hit the button to go down. World peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is. Just
Stanley Stanley tonight, live on stage. Oh, it's great. I swear to God, if this is just the boss's office, I'm gonna laugh. Wait, is that me? Stanley reveals. Oh, yeah. World's first sentient machine. I operate one of those things. Don't tell me it's sentient.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You are too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. Break a leg champ for my boss. Oh, my boss. Stanley, me. Oh. Stanley, my true love, for you, yours every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife, from the department ending. There's an ending where I get a wife. Let me grab this. Nope. The book on the desk? I can't really read that. Let's see. An unforgiving account of ups as well as downs. Highs and lows isn't what life's about. Oh, the book is called Up Again, Down Again. Oh, that's wonderful. The dude who came up with pizza. Oh, sorry, you got pushed aside. It's time for me to show the world. Oh my God. Oh, wow. I can hear my heartbeat. You love me. It was nice while it lasted.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I knew that's basically what this game was.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh. That was
fantastic.
fantastic.
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
That's right!
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course.
Back to the beginning.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
I guess I'm not done yet.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I wonder what happens if I go back down again.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Okay. Seems I skipped some steps. Let's just relax, chat.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I do want to mind control people.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I already got spoiled on this one. Wait, can I like... Yes!
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you.
Okay, this is new.
When it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the Bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
I do like feeling special.
Track. Good job, you've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. And I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good
I live for this level of salt.
Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job.
Just think, they could have put an invisible barrier there. But instead, they did all that. That is game development.
Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
There's got to be something to do with turning off the computers, though. Oh. That carried over. I gotta do that more times.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The one waiting for an input was a different computer than the first? Yeah, I know.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
It did go that way last time, so let's try this way.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yay! Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift. You can't tell me what to do!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Jump on the car? Ooh, I should try that next time.
Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy.
Okay, so I
really,
should
I'm
jump
not.
on the car with the lights
I realize
on?
that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you
Okay,
are
we had to
very
try.
powerful. How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes?
Maybe not that
Days?
far up.
Centuries?
You couldn't get to it
Did
otherwise.
something
I
crucial
can't.
happen while my
I cannot
senses were
physically
turned?
jump.
He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Jump on the railing and then jump down. You sure?
Look, Stanley,
sure that's
I
a
think
thing?
perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
All right. I had to try, you know?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
Wait, I have a
first,
duck?
just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why,
Kinda.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
Oh.
Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, look, a blue door.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
I want to go through the left door.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version.
A new version?
To be candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
How closely is this to being a DM? Pretty much exactly. Oh. All doors opens. See, 21.3% skip the intro. This is you. Oh. How long does it take you to get to the correct door? Compete against others to improve your Stanley Parable. Wow, I am the worst one. Why did I ask error? Friends list. I have friends! Dead rat is objectively ranked better than you. Oh, it's mean. Third door.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
I give it a 2.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Okay.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard.
Yeah, kinda.
Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
A little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Do what?
Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
What the?
Ah, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower.
Is
Perhaps
this
for some sort of twisted erotic purpose?
Oh, there was like some Firewatch game or
that
something
must
like
be.
that.
What a fascinating
that
venture into the
this?
experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and
It
see
was
what else is
critiqued
out
to be
there.
a walking simulator like the Stanley Parable. Although not the Stanley Parable, because I don't know. I never played that one. I guess we're gonna be playing someone else's game now. Oh boy. How far can we take this? I'm fairly certain it's gonna end like...
No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
What?
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
You know, it's funny. I really do think that's how people respond to Elden Ring when they're just like, "It's
Wonderful.
open world."
See,
Is
that's
this
exactly
Rocket
what I had in
League?
mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any
Are there gonna be
possibility
cars?
that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball?
I
Stanley,
love sports
I think it's
ball!
Sports ball? Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
I can flop? Yay!
Hold on. What are you doing?
Oh my.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Where am I? It's actually kind of creepy. Please don't tell me this really became a horror game.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
I guess. Yep. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, that got really spooky for me.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Wait, what? Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. That's not what it said before. Okay, that's new. Nice. Chad, how are we doing so far vibing to the Stanley Parable? This goes down long, quite a ways away, doesn't it? Part of me wants to push a button, and part of me just wants to see where this goes. It's the same room. Does this elevator do anything? It plays music and rattles. I mean, I guess.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway.
I didn't...
Quelle surprise.
Barely see. Dang it. Yeah, I know the narrator has had enough of me, but I don't know.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Come on, narrator. I'm not even going to jump off this time. Let's see what the actual ending is.
Packed with television screens. What horrible secret
You know,
did
unless
this
something
place
else
hold?
presents itself.
Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Well, if we make the narrator repeat over and over again, I don't know. I want to wait for that one because I think doing a begin the game again hard resets it and might undo like a lot of the progress we've been doing.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
All right, let's do it. Ow. Oh, the power room. Yeah, the narrator. Okay, so there's a 2, so 1, 2. Yeah, 5's up there. So that's 1, 2, 3. Where's 4? Aha! I can't get up there.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Fine. At this point where I was just like, probably need a, a flashlight.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Except the narrators.
Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Alright, so that is how the game is supposed to end according to the narrator.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Gotta find the computer that has the next awaiting input.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
So we
he-
gotta
this
like
was
go
not
through
correct
some of the
way to meeting room,
endings.
and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
Probably
employee
some of the
lounge
endings I
first,
already
just to
did that
admire it.
caused like us to go through
lounge
the
was
other
grand,
rooms.
majestic. perhaps, but eager to
in order to
back
get
to
some of
business,
the
Stanley took the first
other
open
parts.
door on his left.
But I'm not gonna do that just yet. Let's see where that catwalk
Stanley was so
goes.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Or not
realize that
catwalk,
investing
this
your
lift.
trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her?
Isn't it, Stanley? Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who's she? What the?
That's her, Stanley.
What?
You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope.
I unplugged it.
Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Maybe.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that?
I don't know. I just hit it.
Chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
No, I'm Stanley.
I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation?
I didn't.
Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making.
No, I don't want to be educated.
Please observe this helpful instructional video.
No more instructional videos.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice.
Hi,
He could invent a
Rupert.
machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis
What the
is the
fuck?
best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical
That's just a day in
professionals
Florida.
recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less?
I don't
And finally,
know.
if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant.
It's true.
And the feeling should subside. At this time,
Or make it
your
worse.
instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative
Why are
contradiction.
there so many
But not to
forklifts?
worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
But why are there so... They're even clipping into the walls. Okay, we're back to this room. Yeah.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying.
No!
Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
But what if I... Darn you and making me not be able to choose. You're being mean to me, narrator. I like it when you're salty instead of going like, oh, you're a real person. Here, have a foam hat, have a Nerf hat. We're going to put everything up on a shelf so you don't knock it down. It's going to be great. And I'm like,
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm sorry this is such a thought process to me, but it's just like part of my sassy nature wants to take the right door again, but then that would just prove I'm being super sassy and the game would...
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Oh, it seems I broke it.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Oh! Use chair to get on table? I tried. I was trying that. It looks like that was the ending. Oh! Oh.
Oh! I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see?
Yep.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story.
Yeah, I'm
If
still
you'd just gone through
smiling.
the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would.
What?
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, technically, the door on my left is this one.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm gonna do it one more time.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would.
All right.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nah, you had to do it until you triggered something.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
The downstairs is gone. The bathroom's gone. Elevator room is locked. This is a different color.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage
We're gonna hear
to
Stanley's
face the
voice.
unknown.
I am the
He
most
drew a sharp
expensive
breath
boss.
and then spoke the code. Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Nightshark 115?
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you?
Space to
Please
speak?
speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story.
Really?
This is a crucial step.
Nightshark 115?
Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect...
Okay, hang on. I'm just gonna...
Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
I found the end.
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know.
So apparently I found the ending with the credits.
The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Okay.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
I mean...
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Like I was going to... Like, yes, it's bait. But, like, I'm not going to take it.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
I'm scared.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
What if I go in? Okay.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle. Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
I'm sad now. I couldn't jump outside of the circle, by the way.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes.
The only thing I'm certain that is new so far is the fact that I found that one bug area that they said was an issue in 2013, and this. I don't know if anything else I found is new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh. This is new.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something. Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Okay, I do. I do want to see what's on the bed. I'm sorry.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Okay. I was wondering if he continued that. Yeah, there's now a crouch button. Finally has a use.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Because I'm venting. What the absolute hell?
I call it the memory zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Wait, why does your memory zone get to be like open world? Is this Sky? Yes, this is Skyrim chat.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Zone, sweet zone. Their Steam page. Are these all the endings of the first one? Or no, probably not, just random things. The original remake? Linguists identify 15,000-year-old ultra-conserved words. Researchers identified 24 words whose sound and meaning have survived the past 15,000 years. Be my Valentine. Oh, what a nice mug. That's a really high-res dollar. Can I have it? Smile because it happened. Well, that's nice.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
It was Persona 3. Oh, that was great. Oh, someday I do need to play Persona 3. There's a lot of versions out there, and I really just wish that they'd make a new one. Not a new Persona. Well, yes, a new Persona, but a new version of Persona 3 for modern systems that kind of use the best of all of them.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
The serious room. Oh, I haven't been there yet. I think I've seen that though.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
Oh,
Surely these
God.
reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Steve reviews. You really want to see those, dude?
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I mean, I'm new to the Stanley Parable, so this is still delightful to me, though. Like, this doesn't... I mean, sure, you could view it as the devs being salty, but I actually really like the direction this is taking. This is a neat one. More negative reviews.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people
Yeah, I
down.
feel like they're real reviews,
Perhaps the
too.
Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
A skip button.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue.
But I
and it
like
goes
listening
something
to
like
you.
this. The story,
You're actually
and the choices,
fun to me.
or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245, that the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000
I do
years.
wish I could have
Until
kept the
just
jump
yesterday,
button.
here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy... Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my... Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Oh,
You're
God's
back.
plant.
Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed. Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret.
Oh my gosh, is the narrator dead? Oh. Okay. This will probably end it. Where's the clock? Fire alarm. Yeah. I talked about how much I liked it. And then I just killed the narrator. Well, that's a fire. That's that thing, isn't it?
But they didn't understand.
Oh my God, you're
It was never
alive!
meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising
I'm
heart
just gonna
the words
push
they are
the
speaking
button,
into the
okay?
world.
You
As though
can
there were no
keep talking to
consequences for a lack of
yourself.
cohesion in one's assessment of
Okay.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
He's kind of broken.
Is never the end, is never the end.
I'm gonna just.
The end is never the
Maybe
end,
you'll get better next time. I'm gonna push the button again.
is never
Jeez, these moments of silence when I come back are very disturbing. Oh. Well, maybe if I keep pushing the button, the entire facility will collapse around me, allowing me to escape. See? It's starting to work. Probably should have left when you had the chance. I didn't have the chance! Oh, that's beautiful. And now it's dead again. Jesus, this game knows how to get creepy sometimes. Again! Is what happened to Aperture Science? Yes, it is. I'm free! Yeah, Q had to decide between Skip Bun and Desert, so, oh god, I can't hit it. I can't push the button anymore! Oh, wow. This is it, huh? The desert. Well, that was the end of that ending. Jeez.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, let's see. New content? I mean... yeah.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Yay! New content.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable. And about
Rabbit
how
hole is
roundly
surprisingly deep.
disappointing
Yeah,
this Ultra
that's
Deluxe
why this
version
game
has
is
turned
so
out to be.
popular.
The
I mean,
original
I don't know about
Stanley
this
Parable
new
was a
version,
landmark.
but dang,
Any new
this is...
content for it should live up to that.
Oh, it just keeps going
So
and
forget this
going.
Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable.
Holy crap, really? This is a sequel? Oh my god!
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Oh, that's awesome! This is fine, those two. Oh, the adventure line, you son of a bitch, you're here as well. That's great. Taste the sequel. Hold on, I'm trying to read some of those. I see pyramid, sip. Can't read a lot of that.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
It's true, when I got this, I thought it might actually be the equivalent of Stanley Parable 2. Like all the old stuff, but so much new stuff, it's worth the additional purchase. Stanley Parable 2. I like that one. Thanks for attending my meeting. Oh, with the little clip art. Oh, it's that Fern! There's two of them! He was right, it's so important. Two Stanleys. Multiplayer? Let's go! Oh, we're gonna co-op this so hard.
I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely
The end is
organize
never
a
the end.
handful of
Again!
interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Who took the red marker? Me! Oh, that's way funnier than it has any right to be. Oh, that hit me right where I like it. Oh, I did not. Scrum? Oh. The prequel to the Stanley... The prequel 2 is the sequel to the Stanley Parable, is the prequel to the Stanley Parable, is the sequel to the Stanley Parable. It's prequel all the way. New features. Yeah, a bus? We get to go to Dram City? I don't even know what those symbols mean. No, oh, no food or beverages. Oh, look at this.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player playing the game?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
I might be doxxed by pressing this.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just
Right.
play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Alright, I am
I
now
want
Jim
you to
Ross
imagine
Spell.
yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so,
I
then please
am
step forward and
Jim!
Jim.
Yes! You
Yes!
see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described
It
you.
was
Do it again, do it again.
me! Holy crap, that's so inventive! Because I'm Jim!
Jim.
It hits even harder the second
It
time.
really
If this were
doesn't.
the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim.
Jim.
I'm putting the Jim button away.
Jim.
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense
Jim.
of who you actually
Jim.
are.
Jim. Jim.
Okay, fine.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
It's true. Let's see. You heard Jim in the game! The it changed everything! This t-shirt is the best new feature. Oh, there's so much. What's the reassurance bucket? I gotta know.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well,
Where is it?
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me.
Can I
than
have
actually
it?
redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Oh, now I'm trying to think what's the Team Fortress 2 meme where it's just like, what is that? A bucket. My God. There's more. No.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Can I keep it? I get to keep the bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
I don't want to go there. I bet the bucket says gym. It should. Ooh, that's some nice floor tiling. More of the same, but in a good way. Red is the new orange. A whole new office. The baby is all grown up. Oh, I don't know where to go. There's so much to explore. The infinite hole? It won't end. I feel like that might kill me, though, and I should save that for the end. Ooh, new achievement? Pull the lever, receive your new achievement, no more steps. It just works. Get yours right now?
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Okay. Oh, it's still nice.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Collectibles.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Is anyone else kind of disturbed by this? We're not going to talk about that, are we?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
What? That's the best part, though. Let's see. Well, it says the exit is that way, so yeah. Let's see. We've already gotten the free achievement. It's Q. Let's see. The button that says the player's name that is playing the game. Merch. Already seen it. Settings World Champion. Well, I mean, that's just around. I guess that's not important. Office decorations. Epilogue. I want to know the epilogue. Where's the epilogue? Jeez, I can't read this map at all. Looks like it's on another floor entirely.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
That's mean. Oh god, they're everywhere.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Let's go see the infinite hole. Oh, it's the jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
No! Oh. That's what I get for using all my jumps. Science. More. Falling. Infinity. More hole. Hole. Depth. Space. It just keeps going.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great! Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again?
Yes.
I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about...
What the?
Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know. I told you the hole was infinite, but come on.
You lied to
Actually
me!
wants to fall forever. The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly
It's
infinite?
not even close
That
to
works for you?
infinite!
Then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
It did.
I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to
It's
hit the
becoming
point
super
where it's no longer
finite.
feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with
Can't
holes,
get out.
but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Uh-oh.
Is the
I'm technically
teleport
on
button
the
not
surface.
working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole. And now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole. I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
I should have known. It's just me and my lack of jump button. Crouch. Now it's in. Yeah, might as well be. Oh, this is embarrassing. Bucket of reassurance, why can't you save me? Huh? What the? Where are we going, Mr. Hole? Boom, boom, bada boom, boom, boom. Oh, chat, look! It's puppies! It's puppies!
Stanley?
Oh, what? What, you're here?
Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating, that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the whole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
It did the reset. Oh, but it brought me back
Here
here.
we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
So it doesn't take me back to my office to do all that again. I'm back here. Infinite hole. Fine, it ended. Okay, I did that. Got the collectibles. We still need to find the epilogue. Ah. That's new.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
I guess that's it. Settings world champion. Okay. It won't let me back into the room with the hole. Take a screenshot in the no screenshot area? I mean, that's just rude. But you're right. Hang on. Oh, it didn't let me. Oh, whoop. No, I accidentally opened up the bug menu. The bug report, that is. I literally can't take screenshots. Okay, can't get anything else there. Can't do anything there. I guess that's it. I have to head to the exit.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now? So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
All right.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Yeah, that's worse.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction,
oh my gosh,
this is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Let me guess. Okay, then.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company...
Oh, there's the balloons! Oh my gosh, how deep does this go?
427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Yeah, see, it definitely changed. It's not...
Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
Yes,
Shocked,
it is indeed
frozen
wrong.
Solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
It's the bucket!
Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can
does?
feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
I love this
Can't hand it
bucket.
over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner?
I can't believe there's more broom
Go on,
closet
Stanley.
dialogue.
Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
How
Expand
dare
on the
you!
wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
I still can't speak.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion.
Yay!
Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see,
Yeah!
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
How many stickers can we get?
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Okay, let's go.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment, and to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies, easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
I left it, though.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps.
No!
How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket! Could it truly be?
Well, which one
He
are
rushed
you?
forward
Wait,
from room
you
to
have
room,
stickers.
passing by one bucket after the next.
Wait,
None
no,
of them
the
were
one with
his.
stickers is
None of
wrong.
them were his special bucket.
They're all wrong.
To me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Well, that was completely freaking
This
weird.
is the story of a woman named Mariella.
I'm sorry, what?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way
She
to work.
backflipped. What? Why? Why? What is going on? I love it. Okay, Chad, do I pick up the bucket or not? Oh my god, I'm taking
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms.
Okay,
and a
keep
wave
stickers.
of comfort. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
I want to
He
disobey
was
the
firmly
bucket now.
convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
I don't know.
What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game
It
if
could?
not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
What the how deep does this go? What?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is
Now I
not
can do
a
the correct
bucket.
choices of
Okay,
yeses or no. Like, I could fail this completely.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket.
What?
It's an actual bucket.
I can't.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
But a 3D printed replication would still be a bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
No.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Got it.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
I'm gonna be really upset if this is... Is that a bucket, chat? I don't know anymore.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's
I'm
an enormous machine that tills
confused.
the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
Correct. This is a bucket.
What? What? No! Why? Why?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
How?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence, and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening...
I don't want to
tear our
gaslight
relationship
him.
apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game.
No!
Okay, here we go.
No, please! My bucket! I didn't see the other endings!
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear?
Everything's a
Wait,
bucket.
Was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I am not
Because
a
I
bucket
said
after
he's
all.
not!
And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what. I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets.
Yay.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person?
It's true.
All right, here we go. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
I'm gonna listen to the bucket this time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes.
Actually, I wonder if
Good,
I die
said
with the
bucket.
bucket in my
Now
arms for
ride
that
the lift
ending
all
change.
the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Dark room. It's not that dark in here. Oh, that's a dark room. And then the telephone's in here, yeah.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh. My house? This is my beautiful house. This is my beautiful bucket. Press A to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Well, what would you rather have me do instead? Don't listen to the loud man. Press X for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal. It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
It really does. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley?
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no. I'm having feelings.
Are we gonna have to
The
fight?
bucket. Oh, no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the
Oh, I
bucket?
can go into this
Hear
room now.
what the bucket has to say.
Oh,
It
no.
asks, what's wrong with you?
No.
I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. This just keeps
All of his
getting
co-workers
so
were
weird.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Yes, now I see what jealousy can do to a person.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly.
Hang on, I
This was
want
not the correct way
I
to the
want to do
meeting
one more
room.
thing.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
Although I
telling
could
him
also
that the
unplug the
employee
phone with the
lounge
bucket
was
in my...
simply the
There's
place
so
to be.
many
And here it
things.
was. Had
The bucket,
turned out to
like,
be
the
correct,
bucket
was
might
as
not
though-
seem like
Never mind.
much,
The bucket was
but the
wrong.
fact that you can now do everything
took the
with
door in
the
his left,
bucket
go
changes
back
pretty
to the
much
meeting room.
every single other instance
No,
in the
said
whole
the bucket.
game.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
The bucket does enrich the game experience in the dumbest and best
All of his
ways.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley
You know,
clutched
I've
the
never
bucket
actually
tightly
been to the
his
meeting
chest. This was
room
not the correct
at
way to the
all
meeting room.
from this
Stanley had
direction.
felt the bucket calling to
I
him,
took the
telling him
elevator,
that the
I did a
employee
whole
lounge
bunch of
was simply
things.
the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door.
So
on
what
his
if
left
instead
to
I-
go back, and
I-
so
I
the
don't
two of them
take that lift
detoured
like
to
I
the
did
maintenance
before.
section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Now there's this. Or not.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
To be rich, is it a crime to commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. I don't know why I came in here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 28 45. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
What if I try to become an author with the bucket? Gosh.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
The number 3?
The bucket said nothing. Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Okay.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
What is this plot? We're now fascinated by the number 3.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator. Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
We're continuing this.
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Can't, Does the book change now? Yeah, I'm
For
hoping.
months, he advertised and marketed his press
these are
conference,
different.
building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Three.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true
three
connection
again,
with a
three
loved
again.
one.
It's even 3 stars. 3. That's the magic number. Yes, it is. A shockingly 3-dimensional character. Remember where you came from. Okay.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Damn. Alright, we got time for one more. I know which one I want to do, too.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The good old bucket. Just
I want to go
to
that choice of activating the
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the
of activating the mind control, but the bucket is with me, and I want to actually activate it this time. And there will be a reward for finding them all. Oh, and these are the ones I've already... Some are both red and blue. Nearby a fireplace. Stairs. Something to do with stairs. Our room locks of bosses. Some kind of game. I'm getting... Okay. We can do it. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, here it is.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Come on, Bucket, we're almost to the end.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears.
No, Bucket, it's gonna be okay.
Reassuring it that everything would be fine.
See?
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not?
I never took a look at which one of these
These
is mine.
questions raised furiously in Stanley's
Let's see,
mind.
427. Yeah, it's Stanley's office.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machine... But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
The bucket
Stanley
did that?
gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself?
Bucket, no!
How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Bird.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
So, that was the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. There are way too many endings for me to do in a single stream. I can't go on though. So, go going to just leave it at that. This was highly enjoyable, though. I feel like I don't know, for what I pay, I feel like it has provided me enough laughs, and I hope you all had fun watching too. This was a great one-off episode, and I might check out more of it on my own time, but I don't know if I'm gonna stream it again. We'll see. Oh, but this has been your host, Spell. Hoping to see you in the next video or live stream. And signing out.